Okay, looks like we have a excellent connection, and I guess we'll get to it. Hopefully we won't have any problems today going on. You know, sometimes this thing just goes nuts on me. Anyway, the title of this is design of what we have learned, and the reason why I titled that this way is that normally I like to use my Super Tiger 60s because they're light. But I really want to try to get an airplane to fly like I like using the PA-75, even though it's an ounce heavier. So what I did was I took the engine out. I'm going to use a CAS tank. This tank weighs, it's all about weight to me, because you can really feel that in the handle. And I'm having to design this on the fly, and I've got a lot of ideas flipping around in my head. But let's see here, let me change the view. We want to turn that one off and transition. There we go. So I'm using the CAS tank. This is the CAS Randy muffler. It's $90 on that. PA-75. As you saw yesterday, we lightened up the motor mounts to get the weight out of them. I haven't glued anything together yet. Let me get some of this stuff picked up here. Hey, we got Jack Snavely. Good morning, Sparky. Hey, good morning, Craig. So, let me get my calipers put away. I don't need those right now. I ended up with some Trivial Pursuit or imitation or some kind of parts. And the parts were these bulkheads like this. And this, I had to track it down what it was because I had no clue. And this cowl, so I ended up with bulkheads, a set of bulkheads like this, and the cowling like that. This cowl's not going to work. So as I stated, everything's done on the fly with me. And most of all, you kind of, I like building by scratch anyway, because when I'm taking somebody else's parts, they just don't do what I want them to do. So we're gonna show this operation here. I have all the parts cut for this crutch here. Let me turn this camera down so we can get a look and see what that one looks like. Turn that down like so. And we'll transition that. Let's see, we got to get this over here. Alright. We'll transition. Alright. Now, this little piece here is too heavy. I don't know, it probably weighs, I think it's stainless steel. Let me get the scale. But I know a guy who has a lathe that we can make one of these out of aluminum. It weighs 7 grams. That's way too much. I don't want to add another 1/4 ounce to the nose of my airplane. I'm trying to get the weight out of it. But my thought is, because this muffler needs support on the tailstock, is to use something like this, or maybe I'll just JB weld a piece of carbon fiber tube to it, but put it on the back here like so. You got to think all this stuff up front while you're designing your airplane. What are you going to do? So I need a tail supporting stock there, and then I'll have a piece glued onto this that this will plug into. I'll have a hole in the bulkhead that this will plug into. So it's just a thought, you know, I'm kicking this stuff around. So let's get back to designing, or first thing I need to do is I need to glue this business together. And I'll show you what I did here. This top piece, as I always stated, I always run a 3/16 top piece on the crutch. And you'll get a weight on this, Craig, on what it weighs when I'm done here. But I've taken and cut these pieces. These are 1/4 inch cross grain. I need to I already have the look of the airplane in my mind that I want. Now it's just executing the build. And you'll notice, even though this airplane's not very old, the wing is basically put together. Your mic seems to be breaking up. Huh. The microphone breaking up, guys. Let me turn this down, maybe. How about now? Yeah. Break. Yeah. Break. Yeah, we're not clipping now. Okay. Wish I had an engineer. I wish I had a kid, a 12-year-old kid, to run this show. Okay, we got 3 lights. Let's set this out of the way. Is the microphone better now? Okay. Alright, we're going to mix up some epoxy and we're going to glue the first pieces together. So, as you saw yesterday, these grooves were milled into this on John's mill to accept 1/4 inch cross grain balsa instead of the 1/2 inch. So we cut out half the weight already from, and this is contest wood, so we cut out half the weight between half, 1/4. Everything's, I'm trying to eliminate parts. So get some 5-minute epoxy going here. I need the paper towels. Now I have approximately 3 degrees motor offset. John said, wow, you got a lot of motor offset. Well, the slower you fly, the more motor offset you need. Because you certainly don't want to be down on the ground on your knees doing overhead 8s. So, Dean Harbor Freight grade. 36 pieces for a couple of bucks. Now these are crappy acid brushes, but we're not painting a picture, so it doesn't much matter. A lot of guys use slow set epoxy, 30-minute, 24-hour, what? 5-minute works just fine. So we'll mix it up 50-50 there. Hopefully we get enough. Not supposed to mix the epoxy with the brush, but whatever. Boring. Okay, slide this together. We're going to whip CA down in there anyway after it dries, so got a bristle stuck. There we go. Wipe off the excess glue when you're doing this stuff. Makes it for a neater job. You notice I only mixed enough to do the front part. I didn't mix all of it, so we'll mix another batch for the back part. Because I didn't know whether I'd get it completed or not. If it was slow set, I could have mixed it all and then put it together and wiped it off, but then I'd be standing here with my finger in my nose. Make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Is there anybody that would want to help out with the hangouts out there? Even if you're from another country, Craig, you can host the show. It don't matter. So, Okay, well, we'll let that dry. Post midnight. I use 440 bolts on the PA. You don't need 632s. Everybody thinks you need big bolts and things to hold these big motors in. You don't. When I built my Thunderbolt, the motor mounts were suspended with 16th inch balsa wood. There was no 1/8 inch plywood and all. It just cantilevered off 16th. Use engineering to hold these things together. There's no need for all that hardwood, lumber, and all that other stuff. As long as your propellers are balanced, there's not going to be any vibration. So why do you think an RC airplane can use one of them plastic big motors are using plastic radial mount things on 1/8 inch plywood, you know? Everybody overbuilds. There's a guy on, I can't remember his name, but there's a guy on Stunt Hangar that built that Spitfire. Beautiful job. I got a set of plans for it right here somewhere. Comes in a roll. Joe Adamusco wanted me to build it. There's just a lot of lumber in them, and I just don't want to get involved in that stuff. I want to leave wood out. Okay, so now I have my 3/16 top piece here. I've already forced it onto the wood so we know where it indexes. You'll notice here that I left it slightly oversized on both sides, and the reason for that is you want to glue it on and block sand it flush. Otherwise, when you come up around the fuselage sides, there's a void where that air gap is. So if you don't have this perfectly flush, I don't know, let me explain it this way. When you were kids, did you guys ever in high school or middle school do any wood turning where you laminate blocks of oak and cherry and cedar and whatever? They laminate it into a big block and then you put it on a spindle and do the wood turning. If you don't have the wood, you know, a good joint, first off the bowl might fly apart, but you have a void, and then you got to fill it with putty. Well, we want to get away with the least amount of putty as possible. So it's a lot easier to sand. Let me get this off. To sand things flush. What the heck am I going to get it off with? There we go. Try that. To sand things flush than it is to have a void and fill with putty. It's a lot lighter, I can tell you that right now. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. As always, the super chats help. We certainly appreciate it. We're a little down on that this month. Oh, I got some glue on there. That'll come right off. There we go. Alright, let's glue this together. See, here's another reason why I like these containers. The glue picks right out of it. These are 3M electrical tape containers I use for mixing. I broke that one. Shoot. Oh well, I got more. I had more. Yeah. Okie dokie. Hey, we already have a line slider here. I guess I can use that. Here we go. These, like I say, these are electrical black tape 3M containers. When they find out I'm using them, they'll stop sending them. Yes, it was Windy Spitfire. And let me tell you something about, I haven't seen that one in person that's on the web. But Joe Adamusco's is beautiful. But I want to remind you guys, when you see an airplane like that in pictures that looks like candy, I mean, there's a lot of paint on that thing. And what have I told you? What's the single heaviest thing besides the engine on the airplane? The paint. Okay, we want to mix that with a stick. And we got sticks right here. Yes, why am I mixing this with a stick and the other with a brush? Well, I'm mixing this with a stick because I'm going to put it on like a spatula. I ain't got a whole lot of time. Got to get after it. Like I say, we'll get you a weight here, Craig, what this crutch weighs. Now, I've been on here 20 minutes. It took 20 minutes to get this crutch glued together, but it did take 3 hours yesterday to make the parts. I mean, we had to mill out the wood and all that business. And most of that time was trying to figure out the microphone system. Okie dokie. I have a lot of these clamps. This is Harbor Freight's Best Buy. These clamps. Not gonna do it. Nope. I have to leave it there like so. Say, oh no, I'm out of clamp. Yeah, let's see, we got more clamps? Oh yeah, we got more clamps. We got lots of clamps. One more. Okay, that'll sit there and dry for a minute. This glue is pretty much set up already, so it won't take long. I'll stand here and BS for a minute. Okay, let's do this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those Meslick pants or not yet. I mean, I got some really high dollar stuff, lightweight stuff. These are the Meslick wheel pants. You can't get any lighter, but I think I don't know how to incorporate them into wing mounted landing gear and make them mounted right. But I think I'm going to work on that, because you can't make them lighter than this. And then of course I got the Medusa spinner. You can't get lighter than this spinner. This spinner weighs, I think, like 3 grams or something. I have to weigh it. Let's see. Five grams. You can't get lighter than that. I keep looking for lighter and lighter and lighter. The other day I took this to work and I nailed it. And for you guys that don't know what that is, I mean, hard to believe it, some guys don't. Heat your copper or brass up till it's cherry red, and then let it cool, and then it becomes malleable. We're going to wrap the bell crank lead out wires today too. This airplane is just a bunch of small little steps. That in the end turn into an airplane. So I've just located this. That'll save me some time. Normally I use those the Bob Hunt method of lead outs, but hell, I know where the lead outs go on this, and we'll just do this a little different. Can't make them all alike. This is out of my crashed airplane that I crashed at Huntersville for being an idiot and not putting a nut on the end of the control horn. But we'll use that because it's already made up and ready to go. Let's see if we can find my bell crank now. Take that scrap to work. I bought this from Jack Sheets. This is Berkeley Big Game steel nylon coated wire, 80 pound, 300 foot, 038. So I got 300. I can't die until I use all this. And I'm about a quarter of the way through it, so I got a while to go. Where is my bell crank? I was working on it. Let me get some of this crap out of the way. I've repaired my landing gear that I bought that had some. I bought these from Randy Smith. These were the last pair. I mean, I could use these, but I'd have to change the and I might. I'll sit here and think about it. But nonetheless, it's good to get these in a state of usability, even if I don't use them, because you can't get these anymore. Of course, John has a mold made up for these, and I took over a couple of spools of tow and some resin. We might make these. They won't be as pretty as these. I think these come from Meslick too. John's got a real neat way of mounting those wheel pants where he cuts a hole in them and then this slips inside. Mine came without. Came out at 88 grams. Oh, okay. 88 grams. That's 3 ounces. 28, 3, 3, 40. That's more than 3 ounces. That's pretty heavy. Okay, we should be dry now. We got to keep doing something, so. $88 grams. Well, I would venture to say we should be able to beat that pretty easy. I hope. Okay, so now I want to cut this down flush with the motor mount. So where's my plane? We'll plane that down. If I can find the plane. There it is. Just hit some glue. I'll be putting a new blade on that after hitting that epoxy. Now if I was at home, I'd just take this on the belt sander and belt sand it. You gotta be careful there, you can really dig into it quick. Let me undo the motor. I'll give you a weight on this now, what it weighs, and then we'll put the rest of the parts on the bulkhead, the formers. Get this out of the way. Okay, the weight of this in its state. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. I have no idea what it weighs. About 1.5 ounces maybe. It weighs 61 grams. Is my microphone clipping again? How about now? Check, check, check. Yeah. We'll try it there. 62 grams it says. So we add the firewall to it. Weighs 68 grams with the firewall on it. So 88 grams is heavy. I mean, don't let it discourage you. It should be all right. It's just you're going to have to make up the weight somewhere else. That's another reason I keep weighing things. We know what the target weight is. And if you're starting to come out heavy in one spot, you know you got to take some weight off in another somehow. We have 17 watchers, 17 viewers. Hit the like button, should have 17 likes up there. Hit the super chat, should have something up there. We had 59 new subscribers this month, that's good. Remember, help me make Control Line grow, and I can't do it by myself. It'd be nice to see a resurgence in this hobby. I see that they're back on the old adage of buy and fly airplanes again. And you say, well, what am I doing here? I am taking the time to get the excess glue off of this. What are my formers made of? This one here, this is light ply. The formers behind the light ply will be 3/32. .332 end grain, side to side. Oh man. Remember, don't want any voids. It's gotta be perfect. Didn't get all the glue off of that, so now I gotta sand the glue off. Wonder if my buddy Jim Lynch is watching. Hey Jim, if you're watching, give me a call. Let's talk to you on air. But if you watch this entire video today, you'll get to see the production of a complete fuselage, because I'm going to get, when I say complete, it won't be the top and bottom blocks. Of course, I do have the bottom mold made already. We might. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we'll put this in first. We'll put this in first and then cut it off. Yes, I know this one doesn't go here. Just checking the fit. You guys get ready for the snowstorm coming to Kansas City. Okay, I need to mark this before I glue it on it, but I can make the front one that goes here. We're going to make this short. Normally, a lot of guys make these the whole length, but this is a rear exhaust muffled motor, so the muffler has to come through here. So I'm just going to make it probably an inch tall. And we know this is the correct width, I believe. A little proud. Now it's the correct width. Perfect. So this is the correct width. We'll make another bulkhead here. Doesn't have to be that long, but since we're cutting it, we'll just cut it the length. Uh-oh, looks like we're, the internet is seizing up. Sure wish they'd get on that and fix it. There we go. Make sure these are the same width. And they're not. That's okay. We'll sand them to the same width. See, it's proud about that much. But it's a whole lot easier to sand it off than it is to try to glue a sliver on like that. Yep, snowstorm's coming for you guys. Best to do it now than to do it when it's together. Otherwise, your fuselage will be crooked. Now I want to tell you guys something that will go against what everybody thinks. These airplanes, you know, you don't need to build it within 1/1000th of an inch or whatever. If you're reasonably aligned, the airplane will fly well. You know, you can't have your stab 1/2 an inch out, but if it's an 1/8 inch out, it'll probably be okay. I mean, it looks funny, but it'll probably be okay. I mean, I could get it trimmed out. But the biggest thing when doing this stuff is to make it easy on yourself. There's no sense in having to add a ton of putty and make a lot of labor in something that could have been easily avoided if you'd have just took an extra, like a couple of minutes to straighten that up before you glue it together. Okay, so now we have that. We need this. We'll mark it with this. We know it's got to be 1/2 inch deep, and you want these to fit tight. So when you're making these marks, leave the line on when you cut them. Now I normally do these, I'll show you. Pretty simple. So, well, how do you get a real nice cut in that? Well, I use a saw. And I just do it in my hand. Stay inside the line and draw it down. Don't try to push it forward, draw it down. And don't cut your finger off. Because even though you don't think it's very sharp, it's pretty sharp. You know, part of using a tool is learning the correct way to use it. This is kind of like filing. You never draw the file back towards you unless you're draw filing, but you always push forward, lift up, push forward, lift up. That clears the teeth. Okay, we got a little glue right here. A little glue in that, hold it up. Excess glue not doing nothing. Half by half, yeah. Okay. We fiddled around a little bit, and that's a perfect fit. Now I want to make sure this is on there square. It's not. Got to go back on this corner here. It's square now. Okay. So that's square. We're going to wait till it's glued up to finish that off. But this is too much here, so we have to, we got a little bit of overhang there too. So let's sand that before I get too far. Yep. Let me get a clamp here. Now you don't think that's much, but can you hear that? It's up probably 15 thousandths. And like I said, we're not building a watch, but if you have that sticking up a little bit, you'll when you pull it together, it'll put the doubler in a bind, and just a little bit of extra time here on your crutch and the nose of your airplane will make the engine run better. Okay. And hopefully this is my next year's Nats plane, either that or the Big Tucker. The Big Tucker's still sitting over there. This week we'll probably do some Cuts a Lot Pro stuff. I might show that on the web if you guys are interested. Get that sticker off of there. Because the end of this month, well, end of next week is the contest, and then I'm going home. And I'm probably going to, if everything's in one piece there, I'm probably going to paint my airplane at home. So I gotta have the decals ready. You know what, I need to cut off this stuff here. Okay. I'm just getting a sticker off of this now. Balsa USA sticker. Okay, this is the one with the sticker. This is the one with the, this is the back one. I do a lot of things by eye. I mean, we're not, like I said, we're not building a watch, so, and I'm not building anybody's plans. That's another reason why I so enjoy building my models instead of somebody else's, because I'm not stuck to somebody's way of doing things. Okay, this is F1. F1 goes here. But it doesn't look finished, does it? It's just square. So, in order to make that look finished, we're going to plus, not only does it not look finished, a 2 1/8, so, or 2 1/4. It's going to be 1 1/8 for the center. I'll take this right here. I can't believe I lost my circle templates. This CRS stuff, they used to hang right there. Got no clue what happened to them. Quarter and a dime. I use them all the time. Before I knew there was such a thing as circle templates. Quarter and a dime. Okay. Alrighty, that looks better, but we're going to cut that hole out there. Attention to detail. Ah, stupid. That smoke alarm is so sensitive. The smoke from the Dremel set it off. I've had the heater set it off. Okay, there's the bulkhead. We can glue in. It looks like that. Now we have to figure out what is going to be the length of this one before I glue it on. So let's see what this weighs here. And then there's one other piece left that I haven't shown that'll get on here. That's a 64th plywood that boxes this off. 68 grams so far. Why does this thing seem to keep growing? I need to clamp this and sand it again. We've been on 1 hour and 6 minutes. You guys bored to death yet? Okay. Let me know, are you bored yet? I think I'm going to make this a different type of box too. I'm going to build that box for the tank. That would really make the nose strong if I keyed that in with another piece of 3/32. What I'm thinking about doing here is the more solid you can make the nose of your airplane, the better engine run you'll get. Now, I haven't had any real problems doing it this way, but there is something that I always wanted to try, and I think maybe I'll try it now. And that's to key in, not a piece of plywood, but to key into the formers. I could come up how far? A second shelf this way to make that a box. You know, there was a thread. I should have done it. I think Rusty was involved with it. There was a thread on Stunt Hangar about how, let me see if I can find it real quick. It'd have freaked him out if I'd have done it. Let's see here. I don't want that. I want to close out of that. We want that. Oh, here we are. Okay, the thread is, I ought to do the best of Stunt Hangar. That's at the handle. They're talking about flaps, which I knew already. Reuben McBride in Rusty. Let's see. Vertical announcement stalker. Oh, plans to cut. No. Judges that can't hold it. Stunt championship. Well, I can't find it. Stunt Hangar is just so big that it's just kind of impossible for me to find things when I want to find them. But it was a Cox question. Anybody know how to get the carburetor off a Cox something or other? And I got a big hammer at work. I was going to take a Cox engine and hit it with a hammer on the anvil. And that would surely get the Cox engine or the carburetor off. But I don't think that would have made him happy. Does anybody know how to get a carburetor off a Cox? Yep, smash! But I only have one Cox engine, and that came from Rusty, so that's going to be a keepsake, so I can't hit it with a hammer. Okay, I am going to do that. How I'm going to do this, I'm glad I sat and thought about this for a minute, is I'm going to cut a notch into this. I'm going to notch into this, and I'm going to notch into the doublers. And I'm going to put a second shelf here. But it won't be plywood, and it won't have a bunch of nuts and bolts and screws in it like them other guys did. It'll just be glued in there, and that'll make this a solid box. And then I'll glue the solid box onto the airplane. This is the kind of crap that I do at work. Dream up stuff, how to make it easy. Okay. So let's set this engine back on it and see how that's going to clear. That looks all right. Plenty good. Why won't that drop down in there? There it is. That's another thing. Try to make sure your motor mount bolts slide in and out without having to hammer them in and screw them in and all that. It makes the engine run better. You see, trust me, it does. It makes the engine run better. So we need to figure out where this shelf, this notch is going to go. But I need to put a piece of 64th on there first. Do I have any 64th? That's, what size is that? Hope so. Yeah, yep, nope, that's plastic. Ah, here we go. That's 16th. Aircraft ply, light ply. Could have swore I had some 64th. Where did it go? Well, way down there, maybe. No. envelope. Oh crap. Sanding block down in there for some reason. Well, we don't have any 64th. We got 32nd. 16th is that. Oh well, I'll have to be 16th or 32nd, I mean. So we're going to make the plywood floor, then set the tank on it, and then make the mark for the notch. This is a little heavier than I wanted to use, but I don't have any 64th handy, and we're not going to slow it down for a 64th, so. I'll cut this a little big, sand it to shape. I about cut my finger off. A little big. Straighten this up now. Both ends. Need to weigh this. It's pretty heavy. Midwest. Yeah, this is too heavy. It's a ½ ounce. I cut it to shape and see. You know, if it adds 7 grams, that's a lot, really. Seven grams. Let's see what happens when we cut it to length. See how much it takes off. Okay. What will happen is I'll glue this piece on here and then find the 64th. So we'll have lost half the weight, which is a bummer. Which would be a bummer. You know what? I'm just going to cut this with my scissors, if I can find them. Here's the Joe Adamusco Spitfire plans right here. Look at this thing. It is enormous. Enormous. Yeah. There's my scissors. Okay, we're going to leave the line. I'm just going to cut this wood with the scissors and then sand it to the line. It's a whole lot easier than trying to saw it or cut it with a razor blade. Don't do that with your wife's scissors. She'll probably shoot you. Doesn't hurt them though. These don't hurt these. These are on Amazon. They're Westcott Extreme Edge Titanium shears. They're $6. Okay. Need to plug those holes too. Let's see, what did I want? I wanted to weigh this before I put it on there. $61. Oh, I wanted to weigh this piece by itself. I guess I could sand it, make it thinner. It weighs 12 grams. It's too heavy. I'd like to see it in a 7 gram. Well, let's try sanding some of it off. See what happens. See if I can sand it to 64th. I'm going to sand it until it just starts to show the next color. That means you sanded one ply off. This might take a while. Yeah, I guess I could look for the 64 again. See if I'm making any headway. Actually, yes, 2 grams worth. So keep sanding. We're almost down to 1 layer off. Didn't make any headway there. Started at 12, now it's down to 10. I wonder if I change out the sandpaper. Let's try this block here. I'll just change out the paper on this block. As everybody knows, or a lot of people know, I'm a sander. And if you don't have Durablock sanding blocks, you're making a mistake. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't get any money out of Durablock. I just give you the advice of what I use. Just like I'm not sponsored by Randolph, I'm not sponsored by Wix. No paid advertisements or whatever. But those are the products that I use. I wouldn't use one thing and recommend another, like they used to do in the 60s. Oh, I use this, but they really don't. Okay. See if this cuts any better. Come on. Yeah. Put this over here. Put this over here so it don't drop off the table. Remember, all these projects that I do are just small projects for a big result. So today and tomorrow is making the fuselage. So we're half the way home already. You can see right here it's starting to show through the layer. Yeah, I don't need strength here. I just need I don't know, toughness or something to put the Z-epoxy on for fuel. So to put a piece of 1/8" plywood up there, or 1/16 plywood, or whatever, is overkill. So I wanted to use 64th, didn't have any. I gotta make my own. If I had a belt sander, you could just go and be done. 23 viewers, that's the most I think I've had. If you'd like me to answer a question, just go ahead and ask in chat, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Super chats help. Drop me the price of a cup of coffee, help me keep Stunt Hangar going. Heck, become a member. Hit the join button down there for $4.95 a month or whatever. You can help me support the page and the channel. All this stuff costs money. And just think of the wealth of information I've given you. See if we made any headway. I'm getting pretty tired of sanding this piece. Nope, not a bit. Still 10 grams. This is on the borderline of obsession. If the hobby shops were open, I'd just go get some 64th. Man, they don't want to sand off. Hit that join button. We've got 108 playbacks on this stream so far. Let's see, new members. 0 new members. 13 likes. Chat revenue 0. Well, at least after this experiment, we'll know what each layer of ply weighs. It feels better. Or maybe I just feel better. I don't know. I think when I take a break here, I'm going to do the best of Stunt Hangar. I'm going to look at the threads and answer those threads with my opinions. What do you guys think? You guys have a thread that you'd like for me to feature, put it in the chat box. There's a lot of wood sitting there. I must be getting down to the first layer now. Yeah, we're down to the first layer. I've sanded one layer off. Get it down to 8 grams, we'll put it on. That'll compensate for the glue. One more gram to go, we're up to 9. I need to look for that plywood, see if it... Man, it'd be nice. 60. I know I had 64 ply. It's all sandpaper. Let me look under here. It'd sure be nice if I had the right stuff on there. That's balsa. Oh man, that's balsa. That's balsa. Let's see what is this? That's not 64. Shoot. I found another piece of this. That's thicker stuff. Keep sanding. Okay, that ain't gonna happen today. But you look at, you can see the difference in the colors. I'm just going to take the motor out, weigh the truck, see what it weighs with this, and if it's not acceptable, we won't put it on. Has to be under 3 ounces finished with all the parts on it. Seems like 3 ounces is the magic number for all these things. 3-ounce elevator stabilizer, 3-ounce crutch. The lighter you can make it, the better though. Lighter with strength. Let's do that. Let's weigh it and see what it weighs. I might be killing myself for nothing here. Just for a couple of grams. Where's my ball driver? Let's see here. Okay, so we got this piece, and there's going to be 1/4 ounce of glue on it. Feels pretty heavy. We might go with a balsa wood floor. .65. It's under 3, but not where I'd like to have it at 2.5. Well, I just guess I can't get greedy. It is what it is. That's 2.65 with aluminum pads and blind nut. Like I say, it's not great, but we'll accept it. Missed one. So you try not to have any voids. At least I don't. Okay, close enough. Close enough for government. Good enough for who it's for. Come on. Okay. So let's glue this one on first. I still have to figure out the height of this one and where to notch it at. So we'll glue this and this together. I don't see any need to epoxy that down. We'll go ahead and use some thick set CA. Just run a line there and a line there and then stick it down. We got very few chances to move it, so I got to make sure it's on perfect. But this one here will have to be epoxy. See, this is what these cups get you, so you can keep reusing them. I don't know what they're made out of, but they're good. Okay. To go back to this popsicle stick method. I guess I could epoxy that on there. I'm sure you guys are bored to death. Hopefully not as bad as an Al Rabe or Wendy video, but this is pretty boring stuff. I'm also going to shorten the nose up on this airplane. Okay, I got a goober going there. I need a paper towel. See my Q-tips. Get the Q-tip. Yeah, we won't be gluing that down with epoxy because I got to babysit this until it's done. Get down there. sure it's square. These clamps. Need to buy a few more. No, they're just used for longevity. If you don't use aluminum motor pads, you stand a chance of the engine pounding down into the maple and wearing it out. Don't have time to look for my little machinist scale or square, so it's perfect. So we'll just babysit this, and I think we'll go ahead with the original idea of gluing this down with flow set CA. Now I just gotta look stupid as the human clamp while this dries. Eddie, how you doing? Okay, that come out pretty good. It's starting to set up. You'll notice here, this is proud. We'll sand that flush so that it all seals together. I'm gonna have to find my file. I guess I could use this half by half motor mount. We'll do that. No, maybe not. What the heck? I had a file already made up. Well, I got this file, but I'd rather use sandpaper. What the hell? Well, I can't find the file. Here's my Rake Bearcat motor mounts. I'm going to need a semi-truck to take all this stuff back to St. Louis. It was all alright when it was in a small box, but now it's all put together. It's a bitch. Okay. That's, see, here again. I love these things. These are great, the greatest things. You just peel it out and reuse it. Okay. I can't find my ruler with the 80 grit on it. I guess I could put 80 on this. Time for some new 320 anyway. I gotta order some more. You want the best sandpaper is this sandpaper right here. This 3M comes in it's sticky back, comes on a roll. It's 316U, that's 320. That is the best sandpaper you can buy. Open coat so it doesn't load. This is the best 80 grit you can buy. This is also 3M P80. Both those are about 35 bucks a roll. But I have sandpaper in the normal 8.5 by 11 sheets down there, probably 20 packs, but it doesn't last as long and doesn't cut as good. The minute I can find some 1200 or whatever in this, if I comes in a roll, I'll be buying that too. Okay. Get 2 out of that. Put that on another tool. Okay. Okay, there's the first piece. Nice and solid. Now I'll glue this on. Got to make sure it all fits together perfectly. If not, now is the time to adjust it before gluing it. Like there was only a few thousandths that I shaved off that, but down. Here goes nothing. You know, I think I want to bridge this with a piece of 1/8 or something, so I have something to hold that up on that end. Let's see if it's 1/8. This is light ply. A little more than an 1/8. So a little more than an 1/8, we'll use this. Yep, it's proud, but it'll be good. We'll do it on the back half too. That'll give something for the bulkhead to glue to. So we'll make it proud. Sand it square. Guess I can put a third one in there too. So we need 2 more of those that size. Is this necessary? Nah, probably not. But what the heck, I got time. Ain't like I'm doing anything. So we got one for the back, one for the front, 16 likes, 19 viewers. How about some sharing and some super chat, and let's get the revenue stream going or something. Okay, let's glue that in with Quick Set, which is this bottle here. Need to make another one of these. Awful lot of work for a motor mount crutch, huh? For a 1/2 ounce. Okay. Let's see if the sparky eye is right. Now I put that where I think it's about in the middle. We have, God, I hate these rulers that read backwards. We have 63 centimeters on that side, and nope. That's close enough. 72 and 71 centimeters. Close enough. Okay. I always get these bottles rocking and falling on the floor. We're almost to the point where we're going to cut the length of the F2. I have to clear the bench off and get the fuselage side up here and think of my design a cowl. I'm going to do the cowl before I go any farther. Okay, I want to weigh this, make sure that I'm not getting over my head in weight with that piece before I glue it on. $2.15, $2.35, $2.75. No good. I think what I'll do is I won't glue this piece on. I'll wait till I get some 64th. I'll go ahead and glue this piece on, but I got the pattern for the 64th and we'll glue that on after, because I just don't want to have that extra weight in there. Heck, I might even do 16 balsa wood. Or I might keep sanding. I have to get 10 grams off of this. I don't think that's going to happen. Zero. So we got 2.5 ounces without the firewall. 275. Well, let's see. That's all that work for a 1/4 ounce. And I'd sure like to have it a 1/2 ounce lighter. I might leave this off totally, because we're at 240 there. 240 without this piece here. Gotta think this through. Would it be acceptable to set that tank right on the engine bearers like that? Probably would. Probably wouldn't hurt anything. Yeah, we're gonna leave this piece off. No good. Okay, I gotta give me a minute. I gotta clean this mess up so I can get the fuselage size laid up here. We gotta dream up the doublers and dream up the more I look at these, you know, the more I think I'm going to, instead of wing-mounted gear, because this is not a piped airplane, I might just use these. Because I used these on the original XL that I did, that I sold to Tim Redmond. Might use these. The difference between this XL and the XL that I sold to Tim is going to be 10 ounces. And that should make that airplane fly exceptionally well. I mean, it flies good now, but I'm always looking for a little more. When you get an airplane like my Junar XL, it basically flies itself. You don't have to look at it to see if it's grooving. When it turns and locks. I mean, that's what you want. And I think a lot of that has to do with the weight of that airplane. .58 ounces, 700 squares is pretty good. I know Billy can do it lighter, but I don't have the unobtainium wood that he gets. I got to deal with other tricks that I've learned. 'Yep, I think we're going to go with the Duro gear, or not Duro gear, but the Meslick gear instead of wing gear. Of course, I don't know. The original one had wing gear, had banana wheel pants on it. I gotta think that one through. I don't know. This is my push rod. I have built so many airplanes and so many different configurations that I basically know what works for me. So we got to save this so I don't freak out when I can't find it when I look to try to wrap the lead out. Okay, it is 11:15. I'm gonna take a lunch break here in a minute. I will be back because I'm not at John's. I'm at home, and I can do that no problem. I'm gonna need this. I found the file I was looking for. Now this is the rudder that was going to be on another Junar XL. I'm going to see if I can reshape this into a Continental rudder. If not, then I'll have to cut another one. But it's only 3/16 and it weighs 7 grams, I think. Weighs 10 grams. Not bad. I mean, it ain't the greatest, but 10 grams is better than a ½ ounce. Average watch time is 16:48, and we got chat rate is 0. I don't understand what that is. Current viewers is 23, 148 playback, so 148 of you guys watch me flail around today so far. I'm going to, before I go to lunch here, I'm going to put the fuselage up here and show you basically what I got going. These are the other two fuselage sides, but I need to vacuum this up real quick or get it off in the trash can or something here. Get out my razor scraper and scrape this board off, getting glue spots on it. Should be building on glass, but then my back would be to you. Okay, so the fuselage sides, which I have laid out and not done anything with since the last video, are right here. And I was going to cut the cowl on this line here and use those cowl sides I had, but here again, that's Ted Fancher's idea, and I don't want to do that. So this here needs to be cut where? Now, I had already laid this out, the mark out for the bottom of the fuselage. Pen, and square. Now, I can't cut this with scissors. I have to use the regular X-Acto knife. leave the line on and sand it to the line. I would normally saw this, but this table I'm working on is not very, it's a piano stand, it's not very stable. Suppose I could try to saw it. Not too bad. Ta-da! Where'd the small block go? So once I get this cut and I get the doublers cut, it's just a matter of duplicating the parts on the other pieces of wood. We'll put our doubler material in, which is the 0.5 carbon veil. Then I have to lay out the cowl brake. So when I come back after lunch, which is going to be, we'll say around 1 o'clock, I'll glue this on, figure out the cowl brake, cut the lines, put the doublers together, and glue this all together. This is going to be together by the end of the day, and I am going to show it today on camera. So stay tuned for this. It seems that even though I'm not getting any chat revenue or chatters, except the normal guys, Craig, Jack, Eddie, there's 25 viewers, so you guys must be interested in this. And when this series is all done, I'll go ahead and take the highlights of all the clips and make a video out of it. So, you know, we'll do it in time lapse or something and show you how I did it all. And if you want to come back, we'll put some timestamps in it. You can go back and find it where I did it at. COVID. I call that balsa wood. The balsa sneezes. So make all your parts accurate. Take a little extra time to make them accurate. Weigh everything. If it ain't coming out to the weight that you want, stop. Do something else. Just like I showed with that that tank floor there. We're going to leave it out because, one, it's not really necessary. It just makes the model look cleaner inside. I'll just have to Z-epoxy it real good in there. Or we'll weigh the 64th and see what happens. So I have the notch in the wing figured out correctly, which I knew it was about right. That's about right. So thanks for watching. Join me around 1 o'clock after lunch, and we'll wrap this up. Been on for 2 hours 28 minutes non-stop talking. Very hard to do when nobody's asking questions. Well, Todd, thank you. Come on back 1 o'clock. We'll finish this up. Try to get this all together, cut out and together. This is how you design a scratch-built airplane. I can build a scratch-built airplane, my design, faster than a kit with all the parts cut. If you look back, well, Stuka Stunt's not around anymore, but during the days of Stuka Stunt, I did an 11-day Ares. Now that's not my design, but I did build it, finish it, and fly it in 11 days, plus won the Spirit of 64 award with it. And there's a picture of that in the gallery on Stunt Hangar. I'm standing in front of my red Ford truck, holding the airplane. It's blue. It was a real simple paint job. I mean, it wasn't real elaborate, but you know, it garnered the Spirit of 64 award, and I won the Spirit of 64 award with my Tucker. Of course, that took a little longer than 11 days. I'm not sure how long the Tucker took. Probably 6 months, because I only worked on it an hour a day. Just like my big Tucker, I worked on that an hour a day, and just like this, we're kind of piddling around an hour a day, and pretty soon I'll have another airplane with no place to put it. I gotta take some of these back to St. Louis. There's just no way I can keep them all here. So I'll probably have an airplane sell-off. You know, they're stacking up like cordwood in here. Alright guys, we'll see you after lunch. Thanks for watching. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.